All right. So I just watched some clip from a content creator called the Fantasy Booker who talks about WWE. All right, and I really shouldn't even be giving these clowns this attention right here, but I was so like, I was like, actually, I found what they said funny, right? I found it amused. I was amused. That's the word I was looking for. So they're talking about Bianca Belair, right? And saying that her gimmick, quote unquote, isn't cool. Bianca Belair needs a rebrand because she's not cool, because the way she dances and comes to the stage and, you know, whips the ponytail and all of that kind of stuff, right? And that's what I'm trying to figure out, man. Listen, since when do the geeks and the nerds of the world get to decide what's cool and what ain't? That's what y'all figure out. Because both of them already know. If back in the day we in high school, because listen, coolness and all those types of things, that's natural. Aura, natural. That's something that you know in first grade, second grade, third grade, when the kids are looking up to you. When the kids see, damn, you the one that's fly, got the flyest style, got the most confidence, that exudes that. It ain't something that you have to like figure out and craft and make. It's just natural. It just flows from you. Leadership, all of these different things. Let me tell you something about Bianca Belair, the person. You can think what you want, nerd. You can think what you want, geek. But just watch the interviews of the ladies in that locker room and see how much respect they got for her. When they talk to Charlotte Flair about who would she like to wrestle with, who would she like to have her big match with and moment with, who would she mention? She'll mention a few. But one name she would not have failed to mention is Bianca Belair. I guarantee you that. Whenever you see Rhea Ripley ask the question about who's the best right now, who's one of the best right now, who are you looking to have that showdown with, she would not fail to mention Bianca Belair. When they've asked Tiffany Stratton, like the newest now sensation girl that everybody's on and all of that kind of stuff, who they're looking to get with, right? Or who she wants to wrestle with. It's best believe it's Bianca Belair. When they asked Tiffany Stratton about who has the best fashion, because Tiffany Stratton, her whole thing is about, you know, wearing the Prada, wearing the Fendi, and all of that. They asked her who has the best fashion. She said, shit, Bianca is the only one that can get with her when it comes to fashion. I'm telling you, everybody in that locker room thinks she's the coolest person in the locker room, right? See, that's what cool is. That's what aura is. That's what being thorough is, right? But I know some little geeks, some little nerds who ain't ever been cool, who ain't ever been seen as being cool in their whole life. They wouldn't know nothing about that because they think it's something you got to manufacture, something you got to brand, something you got to create. No, from someone like Bianca, that shit natural, baby. Same thing like with Jade, it's natural. For real. It's natural. She ain't got to like figure out at home, damn, what can I do to make myself cool? No, she already cool. That's why she can go out there and dance and skip and still be accepted. Because some people don't have to put on a front. Some people don't have to put on a fake. That's what cool is. You be who you are. You unapologetic and you still do your thing. Right? I just want to give, you know, some of these clowns, just help them out a little bit, because I don't think they understand how that works. My man, I don't think they understand how that works. Like, this idea that, you know, she needs to come out, I guess, with a serious scowl and a serious face. You know, I can understand when Eric Bischoff says it. I can understand when Jim Cornette says it, because they're like old white dudes, man, who still living back in the 80s, who living back in the 70s when it comes to wrestling. You know, so they still thinking about a heel just got to be the, you know, got to come out there and act like, I don't know, what? Act like Lex Luger or something, or whatever. That's to them, right? Nah, man. Nah. Different types of people are accepted now. There's different types of swag out there now. And Bianca is one of them. She got the respect to everybody. Like, they ask who's the coolest in that damn locker room, she up there. Right? That's what cool is. When you get the respect of your peers. You ain't looking for the respect of the geeks. The geeks ain't gonna do nothing but follow suit. right? Or they're going to stand in the corner and be quiet. But now, these days, they have a voice because of social media. They ain't even got to show their little ugly faces. You can just talk. And that's what's happening with this little channel. That's all it is, man. Now, on to what I think is going to happen. It was another person, man, who I don't have a problem with him, man. He cool. But he put out a video trying to predict what he thinks is going to happen in the draft. And one of the things he predicted was that Jade Cargill will go to Raw and Bianca Belair will go to SmackDown. That's not going to happen. They're not going to break up Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Listen, right now, Bianca Belair is Jade Cargill's mentor. Right? She's a teammate, of course, but she's also her mentor. All right? Jade Cargill is going to be fat. She's going to be great, I predict. No doubt about it. She's going to be great. She's going to be a superstar, all of that stuff in her own right. But right now, the best way to deal with her, to bring her into the business, is the way they're doing it. So far, I have not been in love with all of the matches that she's had. The ones with Chelsea were funny. The one with Damage Control at WrestleMania could have been better. But I think that came down to a lack of time that Jade Cargill had in the ring with Asuka and Kyrie and Dakota in them. That's what I think that boiled down to. Because they had an event, it is also on YouTube, where Naomi, Bianca, and Jade had wrestled. They did a six-woman tag versus Damage Control. It's called WWE Live, I believe. And it took place, I think, last Saturday. And that match was actually a much better match than the WrestleMania match. And the reason being is that Jade, in this match, actually took more lumps. I think she still ended up with the pin, which is fine. But she took lumps. You know, Dakota Kai, I see, got a little kick on her. And, you know, you have to show Jade vulnerability is better for her to not just be completely dominant, you know, and taking people out in 1 or 2 minutes, ultimately. Now, you look at her versus her opponents, I can see why, you know, it's believable that she would be taking them out. But at the same time, it's better for the overall appeal of a character to give them some vulnerability. Now, that match would have been perfect for WrestleMania, the way they did that one. But I think WrestleMania, the match was kind of rushed because you get at the last minute, they kind of put it together. So that's what I think that was the product of. Now, going forward, I think what they decided to do is take Bianca Belair out of the singles picture. Because as long as you have Bianca Belair there in the singles picture, it doesn't make sense that she doesn't have the belt, necessarily. And I tell y'all this way too many times. She's way too great a wrestler. She's way too great in the ring. She's way too great a phenomenon in the ring to not have a belt. Right? She just is, like, and that's going to happen eventually. Like, she might be one of those wrestlers where people aren't saying she's the best during her career, but once it's all said and done and she's gone about 5 years, 10 years, they're going to look back and say that was the best wrestler of her generation. That's what they're going to say. Because if you look at the in-ring stuff, there's been few women who've done what she's done in the ring, and I need to say that there's none that has done it the way she does it in the ring, that has that combination of all those different things. If you look back into the strong women of the past, you look at the Jazzes, you look at the Chynas, you look at the Beth Phoenixes, for example. Very strong. Beth Phoenix, very impressive in terms of her strength, body slamming, and her finishing moves. All of that stuff was very impressive. But most of them were very stiff, right? Similar to kind of how Jade is. They didn't combine that with the athleticism, the ability to roll around, to flip around, to get around, move fast, maneuver, ground game wrestling, all of those different things. None of them combined at all the way Belair does. All right. Belair is the best in-ring female talent there is. And I know those women in the locker room know that. Right? The wrestlers are going to be split. Some are haters, a lot of haters. Most give her credit And to her credit, most bigger up, most are real. But they're not ready to say she's the best yet. I am. I'm saying it. Because I've been watching women's wrestling for a lot of years. There's some who have a better ground game. Charlotte has a better ground game right now. Charlotte is very refined. Almost a perfect ground game. Bayley has a very good ground game. Sasha might have the best ground game. Sasha Banks might have the best ground game out of any female wrestlers I've watched. Toni Storm is pretty good. Britt Baker's pretty good. That Tessa Blanchard's pretty good. Alright? But a lot of those girls have been wrestling since they were little girls, man. They were raised in the business. So that's understandable. Like, they have good traditional wrestling. But if you're talking about a natural talent who came in like late in her 20s and got it down just off of natural talent, there's nothing like Belair. But she's holding girls in the air in a suplex situation and squats them while she's doing it. She adds swag and style to it. Holding them in like position to body slam and walking up steps with their ass. Running around the ring with their ass before slamming them. Come on, man. They know they've never seen a woman doing this stuff. For real. She's not normal. And what I'm saying is a person like that has to have a belt or it doesn't make sense. The product doesn't make sense. Right? She makes the opponent look bad. She makes partners look bad. Okay? Now, you keep Jade Cargill with her. And this is also a way for Bianca to get a belt. Right? So it serves the purpose of keeping her busy with a belt, bringing along this phenomenal talent, Jade Cargill, and bringing prestige to the women's tag team championship belts. You got to bring prestige to it. If they're going to go to Raw, both are going to go to Raw, which would kind of make sense because Raw is a 3-hour show and there's more room to do things with the championship belt. I could kind of see that happening, but I think they keep them on SmackDown because the SmackDown audience is a little bit of a wider audience. I think. But whatever the case may be, they're going to be together. Now, what would be crazy hot, what I would do, I would bring in a manager for them. And that would be none other than Mark Henry. If he got time. I would bring Mark Henry back as the manager of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Why? Because he's the one who found these two women. He found these two ladies. That's what I would do. I would bring Mark Henry in to manage them. Alright? And I would have them run roughshod through that division. And I would have them be a tag team for over a year. Like, I know a lot of people want to see these two ladies go at it and wrestle each other. You know, WrestleMania. They probably want to see them get the belts, win for about 3 months, and then feud, and then Rumble at WrestleMania. Listen, I think that happens eventually. Personally, I don't really want to see them wrestle each other. I don't. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't. I like the tag team thing. I like the friendship thing. At least for now. Maybe eventually, if I see them dominate and it goes stale, then maybe. Alright? Maybe. Okay? But I don't have this need to see them wrestle each other. I really don't. You know? Maybe that's a minority thing. I don't minority view that I have there. Not minority as in I'm a black person. I mean a minority view. Maybe the majority believes that that would be a good match. I don't know. I know right now it would be a horrible match if they wrestled each other because one is on a completely different tier than the other in the ring. Like, actually, I don't want to see Jade in the ring with any of the top ladies right now. Not with a Becky or Charlotte or or any of them. I knew y'all thought I'd say Tiffany. Tiffany's not top yet. Okay, she's not even top in the ring yet. I know many of y'all won't admit that because you can't get past the titties and the flipping, but she's not. She needs to work on her ground game. Tiffany Stratton, right? But Bayley's gonna bring Tiffany along as a feuder, though. That's what Bayley does. Bayley's the gatekeeper. She brings She brings younger talent along. Bayley is so important to that company, man. I don't know what the women's division would do without Bayley. I really don't know. I think Bayley, when she's done wrestling, she'll be a manager. She's that indispensable to what they're doing. She's more important than Charlotte, Becky, all of them. If you really understand what's happening. All right. Yeah, man, that's what I had to say, man. Like, you know, these people, man, they ain't on no cool, man. You know what I mean? They type people that probably think Kid Rock is cool. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They think a dude like Kid Rock is cool. You know, man, come on, man. All right, so peace out.